Okay guys, we all have emotional wounds, right? And so in this episode, we're gonna talk about the mechanics of emotional wounds and triggers and what you can do about it. Warning, trigger warning. Alright guys, as usual, like, subscribe, follow. Alright, we all have triggers, okay? For some of us, it might be being treated like we're stupid. Or for some of us, it's criticism. Or for some of us, it's like someone overly relying on you. All of us have these triggers. And if someone does even anything minor, we might have a big response. The reason why is we have an emotional wound inside that has not been healed. All right? And somebody had brushed up against it. Let's say we have a deep wound, like from childhood, but we have not allowed ourselves to heal from it. So we are pretending like it doesn't exist. So in order to avoid the pain of feeling this pain from this deep wound, we might drug ourselves. The drugging ourselves is a metaphor. It can be, we can actually drug ourselves, like, you know, with heroin, cocaine, woo, fun, or alcohol. or sometimes it's like, you know, metaphorically drugging ourselves, like with, you know, food or sex or shopping or social media or exercise or yelling at someone, whatever it is. When we feel the uncomfortableness of that pain from that wound that hasn't been dealt with, we will try to distract with any one of those. In essence, drugging ourselves out of the pain, right? Because imagine it's like this. It goes just like this. Say you got a cut on your arm, right? You got a cut on your arm right here. And it's like a deep cut. And now we feel pain. Owie, right? It's a deep cut. But instead of letting the wound heal, okay, most of us are trained to act like it doesn't exist, right? So in an attempt to avoid the pain from this deep wound, we might grab a roll of masking tape and wrap it up so that we don't have to look at it, and then it gets infected under there, all right? That's essentially what we're doing with our emotions. Like, well, we'll just shoot it up with Novocaine if it hurts and act like it doesn't exist by wrapping it up in masking tape. So we can go on with our lives pretending like we don't have a wound. Why do we do this? As it relates to emotions in this world, we live in a place where we're basically told it's not okay to have negative emotion, unfortunately. All of us, are constantly gaslit into believing that it is weak, ridiculous, silly, or bad to have negative emotions, okay? Like a kid might cry, say you're 4 years old. You might cry because you don't want mommy to go to work. And the mom might say something like, with, you know, best intentions, she might say something like, you've got to stop crying because someone has to make money. Or, no, baby, don't feel like that. This is a part of life. The second phrase is definitely better than the first, but it still implies that it's not okay to feel bad and that it's wrong. So then we as a child are, you know, basically trained into swallowing our discomfort. Like there's something wrong with us if we feel uncomfortable. Unfortunately, emotions work very similarly to that wound on your arm that gets wrapped up in duct tape, right? If we get cut and we treat it, it'll heal. But if we wrap it up in duct tape and act like it doesn't exist or try to pretend like it's not there, it will get infected. So when a kid, you know, gets sad or worse, has some kind of, you know, emotionally traumatic event, and the kid doesn't allow himself to feel the emotional pain that comes with an injury, the pain festers. It gets infected and the wound gets bigger. And if someone so much as brushes up against, you know, that injury, then it triggers a pain response, right? And so often we think it's, you know, their fault. They brushed up against something and now I'm in pain, and so it's their fault for brushing up against it. But really what's causing that is the unhealed wound. Let me tell you a story. I used to have an issue with people lying to me because I had a wound that was caused by betrayal. So whenever people would lie, I would be like, how dare you? How freaking dare you? It wouldn't matter how small or inconsequential the lie was. If I found out they lied, I would get majorly triggered. And it would be a lie maybe as silly as, a friend being late and saying, I got stuck in traffic, because they don't want to explain that their mother-in-law started drama about her son, who then started crying, and then the coffee was spilled, and they had to clean it up, blah, blah, blah. She just said, I was late because of traffic, because she don't want to explain that. But if I found that out, I would feel like it was a personal betrayal. That is not equivalent, right? She didn't lie to me in some kind of betrayal sort of way. She told me a white lie so as to make life easier for her so she doesn't have to explain anything. But what happened was I had this wound that was unhealed, and it's like a similar flavor of action, right? It's just a brush. So I reacted with, what? Because there's pain under here, right? It was my unhealed wound. She did not put an axe to it. She didn't cut me. She brushed it, but it's infected, so it hurts like hell. Y'all follow? Great. So the idea is to heal the emotional wound that's under there so that you're made whole again, right? So if someone does actually take a knife and cut it, we can respond accordingly. Because right now, if you have an unhealed wound inside you, you're not getting, your responses are not necessarily equivalent to what they're doing. It's equivalent to the injury that hasn't been healed from the past. So how do we heal this wound? So what you gotta do is you must allow yourself to feel that very uncomfortable emotion and not apply Novocaine. Don't run off and go shopping. Don't yell at anybody. Sit with it. Sit down and feel your emotion. Did you know, if you get an infection in your body, you know how you get a fever? The fever actually is a helpful tool for you to heal. It raises your body temperature. Your body temperature raises because it's trying to fight off an invader. But if you just take Tylenol, it kills the fever and makes you more comfortable, but the healing process is slowed down and the root of the problem is not corrected. What I will do is when I do get pissed or when I feel uncomfortable emotion that's very charged, I will sit down and try to feel the emotion. And this is how I do it. I will scan my body and figure out, where is this emotion originating? What color is this emotion? And what shape is this emotion? Where is it on my body? I do this because emotions register to your body as a physical sensation that is uncomfortable. That is why when we cry, we feel it in our throat. When you're mad, you might feel it in your belly. And when you're in love, you might feel it in your heart. Whatever emotion you feel is actually registered as a physical sensation in your body. So say I'm mad, right? I might get mad and I might say, I feel the anger, it originating in my stomach, and I feel like it's red, and I feel like it has a diamond shape. You give it a shape and a color, and you sit with it. You're just looking at the shape and the color for like 10 minutes. What this does by giving it a shape and a color and giving you a visualization, it takes you out of your brain. Because what your brain is gonna wanna say is, I'm angry and it's my mother's fault, it's that one's fault. If it wasn't like this, then this wouldn't be happening. It's gonna wanna intellectualize all of it to try to help you feel better. But you can't intellectualize your way out of emotional triggers, okay? All emotions must be felt. You cannot intellectualize it. They have to be felt in order to heal. So you sit there and you be there with your emotion. And let me tell you, it is so freeing. It's like releasing of this negative energy inside. The only way out of it is through it, right? It's just like this wound. Once you cut the duct tape off and you let the wound see the light of day and you allow it to exist, it has a chance to heal. So if you were wounded emotionally, sit there with it. Allow it the opportunity to heal by being with it, okay? Try this technique. Say you have a really charged emotion. Ask yourself, where in your body are you feeling the discomfort? Where is the origination point? What color is that emotion? The first answer is always correct, whatever comes to you. You could think blue, yellow, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. The first answer is correct. What is the shape of this emotion? If you had to give it a shape, is it moving or still? Just watch it. Just watch it. Close your eyes and go, all right, I'm feeling angry. I feel the sensation in my stomach. It's a diamond shape and it's red and it's turning. And you watch it with your inside eye because your eyes are closed, right? And what'll happen is, as you stay with it, it'll continue to shapeshift. It'll start shapeshifting. Like, it might change color, it might get bigger, it might get smaller, whatever. That's actually a process of healing. Because if you have this wound, it's gonna look very different when you have an open wound versus a scab. It's just like that. You might have a red diamond in your stomach, which then turns into a white cylindrical shape. Just stay there with it, stay there with it, stay there with it, stay there with it. This will send the message to your body that it is okay to have this emotion, and it'll actually be allowed to heal, okay? So I want you to try that. If you have any questions, you can feel free to message me off of my contact page. I'd be happy to help you. And also, if you like this, check out my video blog on emotional momentum and how to fail at happiness. There's a whole lot of fun information on the site about different things you can do to help yourself emotionally. So I hope you will find those useful, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.